The more obese you become and the more body fat you accumulate, the easier it's going to be for you to develop insulin resistance. It doesn't matter if you are consuming excess sugar, excess protein, excess fat. If you consume anything in excess for long enough, you will become overweight and you are going to develop insulin resistance. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another Carnivore Q&A. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today's question comes from a Carnivore Diet for Beginners group on Facebook. Remember, had recently asked, so how many of us eat fat? I have heard that eating too much fat causes insulin resistance, but I don't necessarily think that's true, unless metabolism is damaged like with diabetes or metabolic syndrome. And when reversed, things work better, my theory. What are your thoughts? For those who have done carnivore for some time or keto, personally, I think it's simple sugars. Well, this is a terrific topic, and this is something that a lot of people misunderstand, but with regard to insulin resistance, one of the things that is going to lead to insulin resistance is going to be obesity. So anything that you consume, if you consume it in excess for long enough, you are going to eventually become overweight, and if you do that for a long enough period of time, you will eventually become obese. And the more obese you become and the more body fat you accumulate, the easier it's going to be for you to develop insulin resistance. It doesn't matter if you are consuming excess sugar, excess protein, excess fat. If you consume anything in excess for long enough, you will become overweight and you are going to develop insulin resistance. And this is something that I actually have a little bit of practical experience with as well, because I've been coaching for over 18 years, and the people that I see that have insulin resistance, it is not just people that consume high carb diets. I see people that have insulin resistance that have been following the keto diet and the carnivore diet. So just because you are following a high fat diet and eliminating carbohydrates, it doesn't mean that you are going to be immune to developing insulin resistance. You can still develop insulin resistance if you consume too much fat. How much fat is too much? Well, that is up for you to decide, because everybody's going to react a little bit differently, and it all comes down to biochemical individuality. I've mentioned this in other videos, but there are different enzymes that help us break down different foods. We generally have a group of proteases that help us to digest proteins, lipases that help us to digest fats, and amylases that help us to digest carbohydrates. So for somebody that isn't producing a lot of lipases and they're not circulating a lot through their system, for that type of an individual, consuming a high-fat diet may not be beneficial. And for that type of an individual, if they were to consume a high-fat diet, it may make it easier for them to gain a lot of body fat. And when they keep doing that, if they were to do it long enough, eventually they may develop insulin resistance. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your weight is under control. If you could get your weight under control, then your insulin sensitivity is going to improve. And with regard to insulin sensitivity, a few other things that you could do aside from just making sure that your weight is under control: you want to make sure that you're drinking enough water, you want to make sure that you're sleeping the right amount, and you want to make sure that you are being physically active. If you do those and you follow a healthy diet, then insulin sensitivity is going to be great, and you're not going to have an issue, and you're not going to have a problem with insulin resistance. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys have any questions at all with regard to anything that I discussed today, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comment section so I can help you guys out. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I'm going to be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.